Today, I tested a known hack to take my budget impact screen and turn it into a premium impact screen for a fraction of the price. Right behind me, I have the YSeek impact screen from Amazon. It's cheap, $100. The picture quality is really good on it, but where it does lack is it's just not a very thick material. Some of us just don't have the budget for a $400, $500 or more impact screen. But when you get a cheap impact screen, you're compromising in the contrast of your screen. One, because it's not thick enough, and so some of that light is bleeding through. And two, you're going to get more bounce back on your shots. If you watch any of my videos in the last few months, you'll see that a lot of my shots shoot back pretty far. My MLM2 Pro launch monitor sits back 14.5 feet behind the screen, and yet sometimes the ball can actually hit my launch monitor because there's quite a bit of bounce back. So the fix for this was pretty simple, but I'll let you be the judge as to how well it actually worked, because I got two cheap blackout curtains, and first I'm going to hang one of them halfway across the screen so you can see the difference between a side that has a curtain behind it and one without it, to see if it improves that contrast and also to see if it limits bounce back. So the process was really straightforward. I just hung it right up against my screen, and I just tied it into the hooks that I had in the ceiling because that's how I have my impact screen mounted. And so here's a look at the projected image once I got that hung up. The right side has the blackout curtain, and the left side still does not have a blackout curtain. And it might be difficult to see on video, but I noticed a clear improvement, especially in the GS Pro loading screen. I can see some of the geometric shapes a little bit better on that right side, where on the left side they're a little bit washed out. Didn't know if it was by design or not, so let's pull up the course to see what it looks like. And I'm noticing improvements on that right side. But on this left side here, I was hoping for some better contrast so I can really see those shadows pull dark colors. So I went ahead and hung up the left side blackout curtain. And here's the before with some of my lights turned on and the after. Now with the lights off, it's going to look even more impressive. But I honestly still have quite a bit of ambient light coming through, and it's absolutely an improvement. And if you have a cheaper screen, it's definitely something you should do to get yourself the most out of that screen, and you can do it for, just a few bucks. So the image quality has definitely improved. Now let's test it out for bounce back. And I had to keep my expectations real here because the blackout curtains don't weigh any more than my impact screen, even though it is a budget screen. But to my surprise, the wedges stopped within about 1.5 feet of the screen, every single one of them. I also tested it with a 7-iron, pretty much the exact same thing. The one that came back the closest to me came back about 6 feet to the start of my stance mat. Okay, not too bad, but definitely an improvement because even my iron shots can come back twice that distance sometimes. Now, of course, the big test, the driver. Like I said, driver comes back past me, sometimes as much as 20 feet of bounce back. So tested it out here, and I was extremely surprised that my driver hardly had any bounce back. I had a couple that came back just past the screen, but really a massive improvement. And what this is going to allow me to do is pull my screen a little bit tighter so I can have a better projected image. I'm going to have more contrast overall, and well, I didn't need to spend an additional few $100s to achieve that. So if you have a budget impact screen, I highly recommend pulling the trigger on some blackout curtains. I've even heard of putting like a black quilt or something even thicker behind it.
But in any case, if you want to stop having experiences like this and start seeing more of this with a little bit more contrast in your screen, do yourself a favor, use something you have lying around at home, or just buy some cheap black curtains like I did, because trust me, it's definitely going to add to the experience in my sim room.